Hello, my name is Mark Titterington and welcome to another edition of the Forum for the Future of Agriculture's Food Systems podcast. Earlier this year at our annual conference, my colleague Alex Turk had the opportunity to interview some of our fantastic speakers. So sit back and enjoy some of the interesting insights and takeaways that we were able to take from this year's annual conference. Alex, over to you.
Well, Felipe Ortega, thank you so much for joining us. The European Investment Bank as a spokesperson there looking at financing the transition, and you've just been on a panel at the forum. What was your most important message?
Yeah, the most important message is, I would say, for the EIB, we align with EU policies. And as everybody is aware, the EU has been quite successful in supporting the farming since its inception. But in the last years, things have gone off track. So farmers have been quite unhappy. More environmental conscious people are also not very happy. So there was this dialogue where, in principle, also the EIB has taken part, where many stakeholders could voice their sensitivities and come to common ground. So based on this, I think what comes out of there is the vision on the future of agriculture, which includes a number of objectives which are quite balanced in terms of what needs to be done. And the EIB stands ready to actually support and align with this. We are the EU bank, so owned by the 27 member states, and we stand ready to continue supporting the sector as we have done many years since now. So we provide an average of 5 billion euros of financing to the sector. And what needs to be done, I think, has come out of this panel and the others is, it's very complex. It is aligning public and private sector in order to enhance and really deliver on the objective of sustainable but also competitive competitive agriculture in that sense.
I mean, the EIB has such an important role, doesn't it? I mean, you have a crucial role in looking at easing that private investment. Give me your lens for the solution. Where is your work, your focus at the EIB really directed at the moment?
So it's probably not fully known, but last year we started a new cycle in terms of management and also on a new refreshment on objectives. We still have a focus on the key public policy goals of promoting small enterprises, innovation, territorial and urban development, and also energy, sustainable energy and natural resources. But on top of this, there is the new strategic roadmap, on which one of the key priorities is on agriculture and bioeconomy. And what this entails, because we are not new to the sector, is to become more effective to address the market failures that we are seeing in these sectors and the financing gap. So there, as I said in the panel, there are several steps to it. So the first and very important one is to continue providing liquidity to farmers and also SMEs and agribusiness along the value chain of farming, forestries and financing, but then complement this with other tools that can address significant and growing issues like the need for adaptation finance and to reinforce insurance schemes, and then work together and collaborate with the public sector in order to be able to take maybe part of the subsidy money in order to focus with this on guarantee schemes in order to make investments along the significant issues that the sector has, like generation renewal. So to put the focus on that, like the profitability, but also find for innovation, finance innovation and enabling infrastructure in this sector.
I was going to ask you, what do you think is the biggest concern, the biggest obstacle to getting that done? Because of course the vision does look at generational succession, making farming an attractive and profitable career. So that it has sustainability in the long term. So can you pinpoint any areas that are of concern? And did you hear those concerns in the forum today?
Yes, I mean, there is a general issue on not only environmental sustainability, which has been a strong focus in the last cycle, but also and increasingly on economic and social sustainability of farming. And there both need focus. So you cannot promote the food transition or the green transition in food systems without having the farmers to do it. And in principle, the reality is that farming populations are aging, and if this generation renewal, if the attractiveness of rural areas is not addressed, this comes bad. And it is a complex area. What needs to be done, I mean, from the perspective of the bank, we are there, for example, to finance enabling infrastructure, which is not only directly linked to, for example, irrigation schemes or modernization of irrigation schemes in rural areas, but also on providing the infrastructure for having a good living in small towns. This is on the public financing sectors. But then there is also the whole topic of putting value to the things that the farmers do beside just producing food. Yeah, so they have a key role of custodians of the environment, but they don't get paid for it essentially, or they get paid through subsidies, which entail a lot of complication. And this, of course, needs to be simplified and probably also more streamlined in order to leverage the capacity and create a market case and a business case for these kind of activities.
So one final thought. I mean, you mentioned the business case there. I mean, as you say, you're not new to the sector. So looking at the green transition as being a business opportunity, what moves the dial now? You know, what would be the message you would like to leave with the forum as a call to action?
I think the message is the one that I just said. So there needs to be a holistic approach towards sustainability in farming, so which starts from profitability and social sustainability in rural areas, make rural areas attractive and thriving again, linking it to performing the activity of farming in a sustainable way within planetary boundaries. This is not easy, and it will require a lot of finance. So we need to focus on traditional means of aggregation, as was said in the panel, but also on financial outreach, and complement this with smart deployment of innovative finance mechanisms, where we are blending public and private funds together in order to pursue the objectives that are not so easy to achieve, where there's a strong market failure, or there are market weaknesses, or deployment issues at the beginning, for example, to bridge the investment gap over a number of years. And this is where we see the role of the EIB as a public bank, as a public institution that is at the service of EU citizens to
Felipe,
address this.
Thank you so much, because we look at systemic change, so thank you for giving us your lens on it. Enjoy the rest of the forum.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You've been listening to another edition of the Food Systems Podcast, brought to you by the Forum for the Future of Agriculture. Join us again next time.